A very good evening. Welcome to the home of football, the Golden Palace, Molineux. It's a little bit cold tonight. The Hall of Famer Andy Thompson alongside me as ever, and delighted to welcome back to Matchday Live Extra our good friend Mr. Chris Owellamo. He, of course, did play for both teams involved tonight, though if he tries to mention his time at Burnley, we will, of course, cut him off. We are only interested in his Wolves views. Tonight, we will hear a little bit from Bruno Lage a little bit later on, talking about Sean Dyche and Burnley. We'll have a little chat about the wing-backs positions at the moment, the form of Ryan Nori and Nelson Semedo. And of course, we'll look back on the highlights, though, Tomo, I think highlights might be pushing it slightly from the Norwich game of the weekend.
Yeah, you do well. I think to get some long highlights anyway. But as just saying to Looms there, we've gone to there, not played particularly well. Norwich created a lot of chances, but to come away with a point and a clean sheet, you'll take it. If you're going to play like that and come away with something, you're going to take anything you can get. And look, so we'll all hold our hands up and say it wasn't a great game from us. We didn't play really well. But again, it's a result for us what we will take at the beginning of the game.
Look, if you want to think about it, you're away from home. It's a poor performance. You can't hide away from that. But you come away with a point. Don't concede. It's job done, isn't it? But you have to make these games count. A disappointing defeat against Palace. You bounce back with a win against West Ham. It's just about reaction. I'm sure the players themselves, as well as the staff, would have got into each other and saying it has to be better. The levels have to be raised, and they have to start 100 miles an hour tonight. They can't let Burnley get into this team whatsoever.
They have been better at home, Tomo, than they have been away. This kind of up and down run has kind of coincided with being good at home, being less effective away from home, I guess is probably a good way to describe it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But we talked about consistency, didn't we, and being home and away, and we haven't really done it. Great game against West Ham. It just shows you the team that, like West Ham, who were flying at the top, and we've gone there and we neutralised them altogether. So we played really well. Could have had one or two more goals, but it was the way that we played. I think probably for 90 minutes, that was probably the best that we played consistently against West Ham. But we've got to keep making sure we maintain it away from home. For whatever reason, whatever's missing, we just don't seem right away from home. So the Crystal Palace game that we did, Norwich at the weekend, we didn't look great, and we've just got to do something about it. Do we start to load the midfield to just give us more bodies in there? Because I think that was one of the areas where we got overrun a little bit against Norwich at the weekend. But again, they're still up there. They're still getting results. They're still getting the points that they want. But today will be a tough game. They always do against Burnley. They always seem to get under your skin.
Well, it's that element, isn't it, of being a work in progress. And Looms, Bruno Lage is still relatively new to the club. He's new to English football as being the main man, the number one. And the team is still adapting. And there are going to be times, aren't there, where they're not going to be quite as effective. And at least if they are effective in front of their home fans, that buys them some time.
Yeah, it does. And you're spot on, Mikey. Bruno Lage, it's very evident what he's instilled into this group of players. But I think the players have to take a bit of responsibility as well. In these games, like Tomo's just said there, if you're getting overrun in midfield, take responsibility. I know that the manager sets you out, gives you a blueprint how to go out there and play, but you actually have to then say, right, okay, we have to kind of fight to get back into this game. And then once we are dominant, once we get hold of the ball, then we can try and play the way the manager wants us to play. Now, it's not going to happen for you all the time. You are going to have poor performances, but you have to learn how to manage games. And I just feel that the players can be a little bit better in doing that. Yes, we know how Bruno wants to play, that high press, that high block, and go after it, and then try and play through the thirds as well. But there's going to be games where teams shut up shop, and you have to go direct. You have to play that route one ball, but with quality, with down the sides, make it stick, and having that energy to go up and support as well. So the players have to know their opponents, of course, respect there. Does complacency come into it against Norwich, who are who, to be fair, they picked up a couple of wins just before we go there, but again, they're down the bottom. Again, Burnley second bottom. You can't be complacent. There's no gimmies in this league. You have to go out there and fight for everything you get and then earn the right to play the way that you want to.
We'll talk about the team news in just a second, but we've mentioned it, so let's look back at the best of Saturday's long trip to Carrow Road. pinging another beautiful crossfield ball to the feet of Aït-Nouri, who this time crosses in low. Jimenez tries to get there. It will be a goal kick. He was under real pressure from Grant Hanley there. Rashica's dangerous ball in, and that's a good header away. Really good defensive header away. Ben Gibson was closing in, and remained Saiz equal to the challenge.
Yeah, he tracked the run around here of Gibson.
To Tim Krul. Hanley under pressure from Jimenez, being forced deep towards the corner. Just outside the right side of the penalty. Krul's pass back in was loose, and Trincao nearly got there. And Matinho saved by Tim Krul. Struck it from outside the penalty area, and the Norwich keeper just got back in time.
Well, that was just self-inflicted by Norwich, wasn't it?
Max Aarons cutting in field at the other end, up towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to play a little 1-2. It's Aarons! Great save by Jose Sarr, who grabs the loose ball.
Yeah, again, just got away with it. But I think we're fortunate there. Good save from Sarr again.
A little bit to the left-hand side. And here's Trincao, released by Jimenez. First opportunity perhaps of the second half. Trincao cutting back in field, his left foot, clipping his cross to the far post, and it's headed back across dangerously and just about whipped away in the end.
Yeah, again, cheaply given away.
It's Rupp. Support from Aarons on the right-hand side. Turns back in field away from Hwang. Left-footed cross towards the far side of the penalty area. Milot Rashica trying to strike it low, and Jose Sarr was more comfortable than... And then Solis thought he was fouled. It's Rupp. It's Pukki in the penalty area. Great save again by Jose Sarr. Can't have known too much about it. Just got his body in the way.
Yes, we are back at More Than You for Wolves v Burnley. The last time we played here under the lights was, of course, against Everton this time last month, when we were treated to goals from Max Kilman and Raul Jimenez to take all 3 points. The last time we played Burnley, however, is an afternoon that we don't want to revisit. Sean Dyche has caused us some problems in the last few years, with our last victory coming back in 2018 thanks to a Raul Jimenez winner. But Burnley are without a few key players here this evening. Both James Tarkowski and Ashley Westwood were due to be suspended against Spurs at the weekend, but with heavy snow at Turf Moor, that game was postponed and the suspensions pushed forward to tonight, and they are also missing Ashley Barnes through injury. Ruben Neves is also suspended after he was given his 5th yellow card of the season last time out at Norwich, so Leander Dendoncker has come into the side this evening to replace him. The other change tonight is also with Adama Traore starting in place of Francisco Trincao. Tonight, we are also celebrating the Rainbow Laces campaign and celebrating LGBTQ inclusion here at the club and also in the footballing community. I've got my laces on, Connor's going to have his rainbow armband, and we are also going to have rainbow flames in the light show before kick-off, so make sure you keep an eye out for that.
Gemma Frith down at pitch side a little bit earlier, giving us the context of today's game. Let's take a look at the team news then. For today, Bruno being forced into a couple of changes. Ruben Neves misses out through suspension. Adama Traore, you can see him on your screen, has come in to the starting lineup with Francisco Trincao being amongst the substitutes. Marçal, we believe, is ill, so it means that Hugo Bueno and Chem Campbell from the under-23 is getting potential opportunities tonight. Hugo Bueno has been on the bench once before. That was away at Crystal Palace last season. He's a young left wing back. Chem Campbell, second youngest player in the club's history when he played against Villa in the League Cup a couple of seasons ago. Talented forward player. He's actually suspended for the under-23s at the minute, so he's not played a huge amount of football in the last 10 days, but he is there available to Bruno should he be required. And of course, Luke Cundle makes up 3 of the quartet of under-23s players, because again, there are 2 goalkeepers, with Louis Molden being named as well. So, bit bare in terms of numbers, Tomo, down to the bare bones, but the 11 that he selected, in theory, should be strong enough today.
You would have thought so. So, look, with Burnley struggling near the bottom of the table, and the quality that you've actually got on the pitch, say Traore coming in and Dendoncker coming on as well. So, look, say, I know that the bench is quite young with some of the under-23s, but on the other hand, so there's opportunities again when people are out that they've got to stand up. If they want to play for the club, they've got to be up there and be judged on that. So again, if the chance comes, they've just got to try and take it, and they've just got to show what they can do on the big stage, which is in the Premier League.
There's two elements, Chris Willemo, two players with big opportunities tonight, Leander Dendoncker and Adama Traore, for differing reasons. Who has the most to gain from a big performance, do you feel?
I'd say both. I think Dendoncker, that relationship with either Neves or Moutinho, I thought it was excellent. It was him or one of the other last season. So again, can he come in and have that energy? Can he have that presence, that physicality that he brings? It's going to be needed in this match, but the energy to go box to box, arrive into the area at the right times, and with the service that's coming from both Semedo and Aït-Nouri, hopefully go on the end of one. But like Traore as well, like me and Tom were talking earlier, fantastic. He gets the backsides off the seats, doesn't he? But it's about end product. Can he bring goals? Because that makes us remember him going round 5-6 guys, and some of the stuff that he does is outstanding, but end product, I know it's something that he works very hard at, but this is where he's going to get judged, and he's got to start delivering.
We'll talk a little bit about the wing-backs in just a second, but first of all, let's hear from Bruno looking ahead to this game.
And you play a Burnley team who are unbeaten in 4, and I guess handily for them, they had the weekend off because of the snow, so they'll have a bit more energy, I guess.
Look, if the game was today, I agree with you, but the game is tomorrow night, so we have plenty of time to recover from one game for another. So a lot of time, 3 days between the games is more than enough to be ready to play with the full energy.
And just finally, you mentioned Sean Dyche. He's been there for so long. Does Burnley pose a bit of a unique type of game plan for you to combat? They're quite different to a lot of the other teams in the Premier League in the way that they play. Would you agree with that?
Yes, they have their own style since, like you said, I was here. First time I played with him, it was 2015. I was an assistant in the Sheffield Wednesday, and and I work with some players who work with him. I remember especially one who was my player in Sheffield Wednesday, David Jones. So I know very well the way they play, the way they work, and for sure it will be very hard. Especially just not for him, because he have a lot of experience here in the English football, but also when you look for the squad, the quality they have, especially the strikers. So usually they play with 2, but they have different kind of players with different profile.
Bruno talking about Burnley. It's going to be a really interesting test today. We'll come on to them in just a second. But kind of first of all, Tomo, I guess let's highlight a potential area of strength for Wolves at the minute in terms of the wing backs. Let's start on the left-hand side, because Raul Jimenez has come in the last couple of weeks. And do you remember you and I were at Leeds where it seemed like he was kind of really struggling for his fitness more than anything? But since then, this extended run of games, how impressed with him have you been?
Yeah, he has. So, you can see the improvement that he's done. So, going forward. And to be fair, I'd probably still want more from him. I'd still want more from him because of the ability that he's got attacking. There was times at the weekend where he's got the ball in front of him, he's got space in front of him, and you want him to attack it. You know, one-on-one, drive in there, try and get that ball. If you're one-on-one in the area, with all his tricks and everything else, the player's going to be frightened deaf about tackling. He's going to be scared about having any kind of contact at all. And that's what he's got to do. He's just got to keep driving on. And I think that he can offer a load more going forward. And I think his defending's improved a lot from last year. We criticised the way that he played, his defending, his positioning. But again, it's something that he's definitely worked on, because I think the improvement is head and shoulders about what he was last year.
But in terms of that improvement defensively, Looms, Nelson Semedo seems to have improved defensively as well. And maybe that is kind of contributing to Wolves just being a little bit more solid, perhaps. 2 clean sheets in the last 2. He certainly looks to have improved the defensive side to his game. We all know there's more to come from him going forwards.
Yeah.
But at least that's progression from Nelson.
Well, it is progression. I thought there was a lot of kind of individual errors that were kind of resulting in penalty kicks or goals conceded, and they have both improved massively defensively, and the foundations are there. But you know what? We want to see them bombing forward. We want to see that energy. We want to see that excitement, that final ball, them coming in, underlapping, getting shots away. Because to be fair, Nelson Semedo gets himself in some fantastic positions, and again, it's just that final little bit of quality, that final finish that lets him down. You look at Nuri 1-1 in those areas. Again, good, fantastic defending, isn't it? Gets there, always looking at the ball. That's it up again. Can he get onside? And it's important, but he's going to get judged on when he's driving forward, when he's asking for the ball in that attacking wide area, and then can he come in, mix it up with the striker, and then get attempts on goal himself. But that final product, that final pass, that final decision has to be better, and it is getting there. But again, the foundations defensively from both wing backs have been good.
Do they complement each other, Tom?
Yeah, they do. So, but the thing is, though, I still think we can get more from them. I still think that if we got Ait Nouri down this left-hand side, Semedo should be coming around the back of the other side, and vice versa. For me, I think that they should be adding a lot more goals, a lot more play in the top third to the team. And again, we've seen them improve this year, but again, I think that we can still add more to it. I think that we can still push forward. They can supply the strikers in our team if they want to. They've got skill, they've got pace, and they say they've shown that they've improved with the defending as well, and getting up and down the field. And that's what you want. They're an outlet for us, and we've got to use them. We've got to utilise everything that they can do for us.
Trouble, do you think when say it's when Bruno he sets them up and he says defensively we have to improve, do you think that takes a little bit away from their game attacking wise? Because there is a lot of focus on, like you say, positioning, making sure they're compact, they're hard to break down, they don't concede goals, but it's still having that football intelligence to say, you know what, I can bomb on here, I can be an outlet in an attacking area. So it's one of them. I know that we're saying we want them to bring both, but there's been improvement defensively, and that might take away a little bit from that attacking side from both players as well.
Yeah, but it's also about reading the game, isn't it? So when to go forward, and that's the thing for me. Having the timing of the run that they need to do. If you can see something developing down your side, then you can kind of judge what's happening. If to take that gamble, can you get forward? I.e., as I said about the back post, because we always struggled when we got somebody on that wing crossing the ball. We've got one player in the penalty area. They can add to that, so there's no reason they can get up on the field up all day. They've got the athleticism to get up and down, and that's what they've got to do. But I think it's about reading the game and understanding when and where to go forward. If there's a danger, you tuck in, you do your role as a defender, as they should do. But any opportunity that you can break forward, that's what you've got to do.
Let's talk a little bit about Burnley. We're obviously not going to show you the highlights from the last time we met because, frankly, we don't want to forget what happened that day. We will see in a minute Raul Jimenez scoring the last time Wolves beat Burnley, which was, it feels like an awful long time ago.
Great goal, though.
But when you look at the Burnley team that Wolves are coming up against, I think this was a draw in the end, this game. When you look at the team, Tomo, Burnley, they've only lost, I think, one of the last 7, but they've only actually won one in the last 15. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly where they are. And they obviously have 2 big players out suspended in Tarkowski and Westwood.
Yeah, and I think they're 2 big, massive players for them. I said this to Looms just before I saw the teams come and warm up. They're missing one of their players, Tarkowski, and he's a massive, massive player. And Ashley Barnes as well, who's always a thorn in our side, always causes us problems. He knows how to get under our skin, and it's going to be a big loss to Burnley with the way that things got it. Because you look at it where they are, they're struggling down at the bottom, and these are the games that we've got to win. We're 6th in the league, and these are the games that you've got to make sure that you go at them. Got a great opportunity tonight being at home with the crowd behind us as well. But again, we've just got to make sure, one, we compete with them, and then show our ability with the ball as well. And say, look, there's players out there this evening who can cause big problems for Burnley.
Well, you look at the names that are missing, and in the dressing room, when you look at that, you'll think, oh, you know what? But Nathan Collins coming in, a player that I know very well, come through at Stoke, They bought him for a lot of money, fantastic talent as well. So again, it's not that big a loss. They just have to make sure that they come and start well. The first goal is so important tonight, Mikey, because if we go and get it, then there's going to be more, because the confidence will come into this. If Burnley get it, they're a unit, they're organised, they're hard to break down. So important that you don't switch off and you take the game to them.
Right, we are about to be drowned out by the light show, so very quickly, Looms, your prediction?
Well, I'm going for you one, Mikey. Tight game, 1-0.
Tomo?
Usual, 2-1.
That'll do. Yeah.
You're going to do 1-0. You didn't even have it, did you?
We'll take 1-0. Raul Jimenez to score again. Why else would we predict anything else? Of course, it is just over a year now since that horrific head injury for Raul Jimenez. The incredible journey that he has been on to get back, to get scoring again. There's going to be a special extended showing coming up soon on Wolves TV. And also, of course, it's going to be available around the world via Premier League World, so you can see it wherever you are. It's a great documentary, and hopefully he continues the story tonight. Don't forget, full live commentary available at wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app wherever you are on the move. Join us for that in a couple of minutes.
Do you remember going back for that corner?
No.
I remember I closed my eyes and I just said, please wake up, please wake up. Just move a little bit, just to know you're alive.
The noise. That will stay. It was good. Yeah.
Bueno, pues una desesperación por no tener respuesta y ver que pasa el tiempo y pasa y no hay más que un Raúl Jiménez, mi hijo, tirado en el suelo.
I knew immediately that he was seriously injured. For a start, Raul never goes down.
We were so afraid, and then you start listening code red. And I just ask, what's code red? Say.
It was difficult. I mean, at the time, we didn't know if we were gonna see him again. Really.
Is he alive? Is he alive? Is he alive? Has something horrendous happened here? Because it's giving me goosebumps talking about it, really. Because at the time, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really care whether he played football again.
Fairly early on, he told me that he was thinking he was going to play football.
It's part of living your life, and you are gonna be right or be wrong, but you have to enjoy everything that you do.
Que lo vi, bueno, pues nos fundimos en un abrazo de amor, de saber que está vivo después de la experiencia tan triste y dolorosa.
It's an incredible journey, and I think he should take a lot of credit, a lot of pride from how he's bounced back from such a horrendous thing and a horrendous injury.
I want to be the same, but at the same time, I want to show more, that I can do more.
He had no doubt at all. I'm so proud of him.